Wake up, Jacob. Israelite Prepper is back, and I have a couple of more questions. So let me just tell you what the questions are going to be, and then I'll start to answer them. The first question is about a rebellious child, and the second question is about loving each wife equally, right? So I don't want to forget those two questions. So let me answer the first one. Okay, let me ask the first one and then answer that. So let's see. The first one, it says, if you have a child who's over 18 and they don't act as you think they should, or if you like them to, what do you do? Do you continue to pay their bills or feed them, and do you let them loose and fall or soar on their own? You run the risk of having them, get into gangs, drugs. Do you let them go, basically? So the question is basically, if you have a rebellious child. There's a thing called, tough love, and some parents, have a hard time with tough love. They have a hard time with saying, hey, you know what? They have a hard time allowing their child to go down a tough path, because as parents we know, hey, this is not going to be good for you. This is not going to work, but they don't want to listen. Okay, and unfortunately, some kids, they won't learn the easy way. As parents, we can only teach our child one of two ways, right? We can tell them from our experience because we did do something, or we can tell them from our wisdom or our experience, like if we didn't do something. Either way, right? We can tell. Let me explain one other time. We can tell them something. Hey, what's going on? The tough guy. Shalom, brother. We can tell our child not to do something because we have experience in it. We've done it, or we've made a good decision. Or we can tell our children when we made a bad decision. They can learn either way. They can learn from us if we made a good decision, or they can learn from us if we made a bad decision, right? So that's how we teach, our kids. Now, if something totally new or whatever, it pops up, then you use logic, reason, and kind of think it through, or you seek wise counsel, right? So, thank you, brother. So the thing is, if you have a rebellious child, okay, if you have a rebellious child, let's see what Scripture says, right? Let's see what Scripture says if you have a rebellious child. And I think it's over in Deuteronomy. So if we go over to Deuteronomy 21. Let's just read that a little bit. Deuteronomy 21, I'm going to start at verse 18. And it says, if a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them, so they still won't listen. 19. Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of the city, of his city, and unto the gate of his place. Now watch this. Okay? And then in verse 20 it says, and they shall say unto the elders of the city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Okay, and then look what happens next. In verse 21. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. Now I know some people right at the outset, they're going to say, no, we can't kill our kids and stuff like that. Of course, no, we're not in a day and age where we can kill our kids. But I'm just saying, if your child is rebellious, okay, all out rebellious, won't do anything you say. Sometimes you have some single mothers out there who have sons, which is dangerous, which can be dangerous. We may have a rebellious son that gets in their face, and they just feeling themselves. They have a lot of testosterone and stuff, and they will just yell at their mom, get all in her face, and threaten them and stuff like that. I went to some group counseling with parents that have like teenagers and stuff like that. And there's some single women in there, and they're like almost afraid of their child. Okay, pretty much afraid, right? So that can be pretty dangerous. Now, But to answer the question, if you have a rebellious child or rebellious son, do you put them out, do you put them away, stuff like that? If biblically you were able to kill them in that time, then putting them out is a mercy. Then cutting them off is a mercy. So no, if they think they got it all figured out, if they think they know better than you and they can do a better job than you, then you cut them loose. Hey, go, get on out, go, get out there. And then the question said if they were 18, right? So hey, all bets are off. All bets are off. They can go. Go ahead, go do what you want to do. Look, many of us, okay. Now, unless we just had the most abusive parents in the world, many adults will say they when they're in their 30s and 40s, and they would be thinking, you know what, life wasn't so bad back at home. I had my little summer job, or I had this little. I didn't have that many bills. I didn't have all these responsibilities. It's not that bad. But see, when you're young, you're anxious and you're eager to get out there in the world. You're anxious and eager to just go do all the stuff. Look, I know if you're a parent like I am, you try to warn them. You try to slow them down. You try to keep them on the path. Sometimes they don't want to go on the path. I'm telling you, it's different raising boys and raising girls. Okay, it's just a little different. Okay, it's a little different. So guys, boys, they get to, a little testosterone or something. They hit puberty. They start to feel themselves a little bit, and they want to have full run in the house. And I'm gonna tell you, as a man, you can't allow that. You cannot lose to your son. Your son cannot take over the house. You cannot allow that to happen. Period. I don't care how fast, strong. I don't care just because they have a little hair on their face. I don't care. Fathers, you cannot let your son take over the house, because you will never, ever get the respect back. So, you can put them out. You should put them out. You should, okay? Remember, the law says you stone them, you kill them, right? The law says you kill them. Now, you can't do that, okay? Now, you can't do that, but you get them out. You have to be tough love. There's no way, okay? Look, the law takes you back to the whole Bernie Mac school of child discipline, which is you take a brick, right? You take a brick and you plant it right on the side of their head, okay? So they listen to you, right? But since now you can't do that, then you get them out. You're out. You're out, son. If you think you know better than me and you can do a better job and you take care of yourself and you want to go by your own rules, you don't have your own rules in here, in my house. You don't have your own rules here. You can have your own rules there. There's no way I'm going to be paying for your food and your clothes and keeping shelter over your head and you run the show. I'm not doing that, okay? We're not doing that, okay? Not doing that. You either hit the bricks or you get hit with a brick. Your choice. You hit the bricks or get hit with one. That's it. That's it. So you have children really, really rebellious, out the door. You're out. Done. Done. Don't. All I'm saying is that as a father, you can't lose to your son. You can't lose to your son. Okay, I had a friend, a longtime friend. He said, there's just no way I'm going to lose to my son. He said, because if I got to hit him with a car, now listen, I know we're making light of it or whatever, but I'm telling you, a father can't lose to their son. There's fights that it's one couple, and when I went to this therapy, the mother and the father were broken up. They're split. Had a teenage son. Two teenage sons, like 18, 19, whatever. Teenage son wanted to get in his dad's face. Didn't go so well for him. Dad chopped the tree down a little bit, Mother, of course, didn't like it. She thinks it's too rough, all that other stuff. I'm telling you, no, it's not. Because father cannot lose to son. Cannot do it. Whatever he has to do, he cannot lose to son. Because that relationship dynamic will be forever changed. Right? Cannot be done. So, mom thought it was too hard. Even though son gets in mom's face, shoves her around, pushes her around, Mom try to, reason, try to like, oh son, we're doing this and we love you and da da da. No, 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 no. You're not gonna appeal to the emotions of a young man full of testosterone. You're not gonna appeal to his emotions. Okay, it's not gonna work. Okay, he thinks he's Superman because he's upset, because he's mad. Ooh, he's all full of vinegar. No, 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 no. You're not gonna appeal to his emotions. So no, forget that. But Dad knew how to calm that right down. It wasn't pretty, but he knew how to calm it right down. And guess what? It calmed down. Sorry, sorry. It happens. It's almost like a rite of passage. Now don't get me wrong. No father wants it to go down like that, but some sons push it to that level way too fast. Don't want it to happen, but it does happen. I'm sorry. The sons often grow up, they have that thought in the back of their head. They look at the old man, but, yeah, I think I could take him. I think I can take the old man. A lot of sons got a rude awakening. Let me deal with the second question. The second question is a Facebook question. And the question went to the effect of, it was a young lady, she was asking the question, she goes, gentlemen, those who have multiple wives, you have two wives, let's say two wives. Do you love each wife equally? Or can you love each wife equally? And be honest and don't lie and all this other stuff, right? Now, a few men answered the question. They answered the question, and they gave some decent answers and stuff like that. But I was thinking about this particular question as well. Now, can you love two wives equally? The short answer is yes. I like to answer the questions up front, short, and then give the explanation afterwards. It's a little irritating when people go on this long roller coaster ride before they even answer the question. So the short answer is yes. Now, what confuses people is because usually when someone asks that question, and it comes from like the female side of it, the females who's asking it or whatever, it comes from their side because the way they look at love is a little different the way men look at love, right? So here's what I mean. It depends on what you mean. Can you love them equally? Yes, you can love them equally in capacity and everything. But see, love comes down to an action or an expression and then like an emotion. So I know the question is coming from, or I assume the question is coming from an emotional standpoint, but let's look at it practically just for a second, right? I'll deal with the emotional side. Let's deal with it practically for a second. Yes, you can love your wives equally. Not a problem, right? The reason I say that is because when you express your love to your wives or whatever, it may not be the same thing. Why? Because they like different things. I'll give you an example. If you have, let's say I have two wives, right? So two wives. One's a carnivore, one's a vegan. Now, to express my love to the carnivore, I take her to a steak restaurant, right? We go get a steak, boom, boom, everybody's happy, right? But the vegan, if she gets upset, oh, you don't love me, you don't show love to me or whatever, you didn't take me to a steakhouse. It makes no sense. You don't like steak. You see what I'm saying? My point is, the vegan can't get mad because I took the carnivore to a steakhouse because they don't like steak. The vegan didn't like steak. And then vice versa. I take the vegan over to a vegan restaurant or something. Then the carnivore can't get mad because I went to a fancy vegan restaurant and took her to a fancy vegan. You're not vegan. You turn your nose up at salad. Okay, so you can, so yeah, you can love them equally in how you express it. Okay, and it says, and the disciples standing by whom we love, it says, mother, okay. And it said unto me, behold, thy mother. And the disciples took and look upon. Okay, once you're at home, I kind of remember, brother Tough Guy. I'm sorry, I got to look at this on my phone because the scriptures they show up on the screen. You shouldn't even try to do it on the screen. That's why a friend of mine following sure. That's why they kind of look at it. They look at their phones to get to so you can see it. So let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. That way, the comments last longer. Okay, there are the comments. It said John 19:26. When Jesus therefore saw his mother and the disciples standing by, whom he loved, he said unto his mother, Woman, behold thy son. Then said he to the disciples, Behold thy mother. And from that hour that disciple took her unto his own home. Okay. Okay, so now let's take now let me go back to that. Now, when it comes to, loving your wives equally, okay, it really comes down to, you knowing your wife each, right? Because they experience love in a different way. We had a video, we're talking about romantic love in Israel and all that stuff. We're talking about, 5 love languages and all the other stuff. My point is, the point is, one wife may experience love or this feeling of love a little bit differently. So how I express it to her is for her. How I express it to the other one is for the other one, right? So yeah, I'm loving them equally, okay? Now on the emotional side, okay, which I think that's what they want to get to, what the females want to, kind of allude to a little bit. On the emotional side, it's like this. Me being a husband, I'm the only husband, right? So my likes and dislikes are the same, right? So they can both do the same stuff or whatever, which is, my likes and dislikes, right? I'm the one who had to do something different for each, depending on their likes and dislikes, with how they experience love or whatever, right? Now, if one does something for me, it may generate an emotion, might generate a feeling, right? It might be like, okay, matter of fact, one don't have to do anything. I can look at one and physically, okay, I'm turned on, right? And then the other one, they can cook something for me, and then I'm turned on there. I like that too. So they're just generating feelings. It just depends on what they do. That's all that is. That's all it is. Someone hitting those emotional buttons or stimulating limerence, right? That we talked about, okay? So it just really depends. Let me go back to this one here. See if there's anything else. Oh, okay, I see what you got. Brother, the tough guy. Okay, no, I got you there. It was kind of throwing me there. So yeah, you can love them equally, but you won't love them the same. You love them equally, but you won't love them the same. It depends on how they experience, the love, right? So when you go back to, what one may just want to spend time. I can just spend time with one, and that's good enough. They just want to be, we want to be in each other's company, and that's good enough, right? Perfect for them, right? The other one might need me to say kind words, kind of feed them mentally a little bit and affirm them, right? That's what they want. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask a question, and I'm mainly asking mostly like to females, right? Let's say we're together, right? And let's say I do physically do the things for you that expresses love to you. It translates to you. You're thinking when I'm doing these things, whatever they are, you're thinking, oh, he loves me. I feel loved, right? But I never say the words. I love you. But everything that I do says and suggests I love you. Okay, so you have that situation. So that can be whatever, in your own imagination, it can be whatever you want. Bring flowers, write notes, take you out to dinner, be thoughtful, kindful, kind, give you a back massage. I don't know, whatever you process as love, but I never say the words, okay? That's one. Now, on the other hand, let's say I tell you every day, I love you, but I don't do anything. I don't do any of those things that you were just thinking about a second ago. The dinners, the flowers, all the romance, all that other stuff. I don't do any of that. But I do tell you every day, I love you. Which one are you going to take? It's up to you. Which one are you going to take? People experience love in different ways. That's why. So yes, you can love your wives equally, just not the same. Unless they're just the same and they like everything. I mean, they like everything the same, but people are different. So, yes, you can love multiple wives equally. they're not all the same. They're all going to experience love and experience what you do for them in different ways. Everything else is just limits. Everything else is just an emotional feeling, okay? Everything else is just a feeling, all right? Which is fine, but they're generated different ways. They're generated with those acts of love, okay? So anyway, guys, this has been pretty fun for me, where I look into the the comment sections and things like that, and I'm looking at questions. I got a text question, an email question, a Facebook question, whatever the case may be. So give me your thoughts in it. Equity, not equality. There you go. Equity, not equal. There you go. I like that. I like that, Sister Christian. I like that. Equity, not equality. Yeah, it's what you put into it. Okay. So I'm gonna put the same amount of energy in loving wife number one as the same amount of energy wife number two. It may look different. The energy is gonna be the same. It just may look different because of the equity. Because you got to build both of them. You got to build both of them. Okay, and also in Deuteronomy 21, it goes into firstborn. If a man have two wives, one loved, one hated, but it really immediately goes into what you do with the firstborn inheritance and stuff like that. It really don't say anything about what do you do with the two wives. Not so much. So it just really goes right to like the firstborn and all that stuff. And of course, it don't matter. If you have firstborn child with the one that is hated, you still got to give the firstborn rights. And that's pretty much the end of that. But I like Sister Christian said, equity, not equality. You put the same amount of equity in both. Okay, or if you have two or three or four, whatever, put the same amount of equity. And that's why I was saying I would put the same amount of energy. It doesn't matter. I got the same amount of energy. So that's how they go. So anyway, great questions, guys. Put your comment sections below. Do me a favor, share. Let's get this conversation going. Let's get in here and kind of mix it up, build and edify one another. If you like it, great. Comment, like, subscribe, and don't forget to share. Hit that notification bell, because I don't want you to miss any of these little conversations here like that. I want to hear some suggestions. Give me some questions, some suggestions. I want to hear from you guys. Let's blow this thing up. Until next time, Israelite Prepper. See you on the next video.